The wind howled through the jagged cliffs, carrying whispers of a time when the earth was raw and untamed, a world where survival demanded both strength and cunning. Yet love burned fierce enough to rival the sun. In a village nestled between towering stone spires and a restless river, a young man stood at the edge of a firelit circle, his heart pounding like the drums that echoed through the night. His eyes, sharp as flint, fixed on her, the woman whose laughter could tame the wildest storm, whose presence drew every gaze like moths to a flame. She was no ordinary soul. Her spirit seemed woven from the stars themselves, her every step a dance that spoke of grace and power. To win her heart was to claim a legend, a feat that would be sung for generations under skies untouched by time. Yet, in this ancient world of 5,000 years ago, courtship was no simple game of words or fleeting glances. It was a trial of courage, wit, and sacrifice, where the heart's desire could cost a man everything. The village buzzed with anticipation as the festival of the harvest moon approached, a time when bonds were forged and futures decided. She stood apart, her woven tunic shimmering with beads of polished bone, her hair braided with feathers that caught the firelight. Every man in the village dreamed of standing by her side, but none had yet proven worthy. The elders spoke of the old ways. To court the most desired, a man must offer 3 gifts: a feat of strength, a token of cunning, and a sacrifice of the heart. These were not mere trinkets or hollow gestures, but trials that tested the soul, proving devotion beyond doubt. The young man, lean from days spent hunting in the wilds, felt the weight of this challenge settle into his bones. He was no stranger to hardship. He had faced the great cats that prowled the shadowed forests and returned with scars to prove it. But this was different. This was not a beast to be slain, but a heart to be won, and the path was fraught with peril. His first task, the feat of strength, began at dawn. The village gathered at the river's edge, where the current roared with the fury of 1,000 spirits. The challenge was clear: cross the raging waters to retrieve a single white stone from the far bank, a stone said to hold the river's blessing. Many had tried before, their bodies claimed by the depths, their names forgotten. He stripped to his loincloth, his muscles taut under skin, bronzed by the sun. The crowd watched in silence as he stepped into the icy water, the cold biting like a serpent's fangs. Each step was a battle, the current pulling at his legs, threatening to drag him under. His breath came in sharp gasps, but her face burned in his mind, her eyes, bright and unyielding, urging him forward. Halfway across, a hidden rock caught his foot, and he stumbled, the water surging over his chest. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, but he clawed his way back, fingers digging into the riverbed. With a final, desperate lunge, he reached the far bank, his hand closing around the smooth, white stone. He held it aloft, trembling as the village erupted in cheers. Exhausted but unbroken, he returned, placing the stone at her feet. She met his gaze, her expression unreadable, but a flicker of something pride, perhaps passed through her eyes. The second trial, a token of cunning, demanded a different kind of prowess. The elders tasked him with crafting a gift that no other could replicate, something that spoke of her essence without words. He wandered the wilds for days, his mind racing. He watched her from afar, noting how she moved with the grace of a deer, how her laughter carried the melody of the wind. Inspiration struck under a starlit sky as he sat by a grove of ancient trees. He spent nights carving, his hands steady despite the ache of hunger and sleeplessness. From a fallen branch of sacred oak, he shaped a delicate pendant, its surface etched with patterns that mirrored the constellations she loved to trace in the night sky. He wove a cord from the fibers of river reeds, strong yet soft, like her spirit. When he presented it to her, the village fell silent. She held the pendant to the light, its intricate designs catching the glow of the fire. For the first time, she smiled a small, private smile that sent warmth through his chest. The elders nodded, impressed, but warned that the final trial would be the hardest yet. The sacrifice of the heart was not a task to be completed in a single moment, but a journey that tested the depths of his soul. The elders spoke of a sacred cave high in the cliffs, a place where the spirits of ancestors dwelled. To prove his love, he must enter the cave and offer something of himself, something irreplaceable. The journey was treacherous, the path lined with sharp rocks and shadowed by predators. He climbed for days, his hands bloodied, his body battered by wind and stone. At the cave's entrance, he hesitated, the darkness within swallowing the light. The air was heavy with the weight of ancient voices, whispering of choices and consequences. He carried no weapons, only the pendant he had crafted, a twin to the one he had given her. Inside, the cave was a labyrinth of echoes and shadows, each step a test of resolve. At its heart, he found a stone altar, worn smooth by time. The spirits demanded a truth, a piece of his soul laid bare. He knelt, his voice steady as he spoke of his fear not of death, but of a life without her. He offered the pendant, placing it on the altar, a symbol of the future he would surrender if she chose another. The air grew still, and he felt a warmth, as if the spirits had accepted his truth. He returned to the village changed, his eyes carrying a quiet strength. The festival night arrived, the sky ablaze with stars. She stood at the center of the circle, her presence commanding, yet serene. The other suitors had faltered, some drowned in the river, others failed to craft a gift worthy of her. He stepped forward, his body marked by the trials, his heart laid bare. He spoke no words, for none were needed. His actions had woven a story louder than any voice. She looked at him, her eyes searching his, as if seeing him for the first time. The village held its breath as she stepped closer, her fingers brushing the pendant around her neck. In that moment, the world seemed to pause, the fires crackled the only sound. She took his hand, her touch firm yet gentle, and led him to the fire's edge. The crowd roared, their voices rising to the heavens, but he heard only the rhythm of her breath, steady and sure. Their bond was not the end, but a beginning, a thread woven into the tapestry of their people. Life 5,000 years ago was unforgiving, a dance of survival and sacrifice, yet love endured as the fiercest force of all. They faced the world together, their days filled with the hunt, the harvest, and the quiet moments by the river, where they traced the stars and dreamed of futures yet unwritten. The village spoke of them in hushed tones, their story a beacon for those who dared to love in a world that demanded everything. His trials had forged him, but her choice had defined him. She was not a prize to be won, but a partner to stand beside, her strength matching his own. Together, they carved a life from the stone and fire of their world, a testament to a love that burned brighter than the sun, fiercer than the storms, and deeper than the rivers that shaped their land.